Hey everybody, Craig DeLuz here, coming at you from FPC HQ with some breaking news. This is a story that's been going on for a little bit. You guys know that a while back, lawsuit was filed, had to deal with 1 in 30. That's right, had to deal with 1 in 30, the restriction to be able to only purchase one handgun in 30 days. There was an exemption for those who have a COE and a CNR, which is basically, which would then basically allow you to, you would be exempt from being able to purchase only one handgun a month. As you know, the Attorney General's office under Kamala Harris decided overnight that they were going to do away with that and change their interpretation, issued a bulletin to dealers telling them, hey, if someone comes in here and they have their curio and relics license and they have a COE and they try to buy more than one handgun, you better not sell it to them or you will be breaking the law. Now, there was no process. This was an underground illegal regulation. And we know it was. How do we know it was? Because the courts told us it was. A few months back, we had the California State Appellate Court ruled unanimously, 3-0 decision. That almost never happens on gun cases in the state of California, but they ruled 3-0 that Attorney General Xavier Becerra, because him now being the Attorney General, his office, once under Kamala Harris, now under Xavier Becerra, basically broke the law. Not only did they not follow the process in terms of creating a new regulation, meaning you have a public process. No, they didn't even do that. That wasn't it. Even just on what's called statutory construction, meaning if you are literate and can read the law, this is what it says. And that is kind of pretty much what they said. They said, yeah, this is what the law says. It's real simple, real plain, and you broke the law. You don't get to write the law, Mr. Xavier Becerra. And so they basically made it so that, okay, well, you know what? Number one, you cannot enforce this illegal underground regulation. Well, guess what? As we noticed to you about a couple of weeks back, we actually realized that they were still enforcing this illegal immigration. I said that last time, didn't I? Illegal regulation, illegal underground regulation. They were still enforcing it. So we filed a petition with their office. Now, I know a lot of you out there were saying, oh, well, what's a petition going to do? No, this wasn't like hey, sign your name on here and we're going to give them a stack of signatures petition. This was a legal petition. This was part of a legal process that basically said, look, the court's done told you. They've told you what you're supposed to do. You can't do this. And guess what? If you don't stop doing it, you're going to get jacked up. That's what that legal petition was. That's what that petition was that we filed with DOJ. Well, guess what I have here? In my hot little hands right there. You see it? That right there? This is a notice that was sent from the Department of Justice by the interim director of the Bureau of Firearms, Mr. Brent Orrick, basically saying, see, what happened was, we are no longer going to be enforcing this, as they refer to, they call it supposed, but still, illegal underground regulation. They still can't admit that they lost. They still can't admit that they were wrong. But they said that they will no longer be enforcing this illegal underground regulation. And they even sent a bulletin to all dealers saying, what happened was, we're not going to be enforcing that anymore. Now, God forbid they should ever admit that they were wrong, because you and I know they were wrong, as they quite often are. But we know that they were wrong. And the worst part about it was that not only were they wrong, but then they had to be forced to actually obey the law. Now, what this means in a very practical sense is when it comes to the 1 in 30, if you have a curio and relics license, an FFL3, and you have a COE, well, guess what? 1 in 30 for handguns does not apply to you. You can now go and purchase more than one handgun a month within a 30-day period if you have those licenses. Now, it's also reasonable to assume that also means to ammunition, meaning according to the ammunition law, if you're an FFL03 and a COE, well, then you're not supposed to have this. Then any restrictions regarding to ammunition purchases and that being able to be sent to your home doesn't apply to you either. So that's practical stuff right there. And should Mike Gibson's should his AB 2382 dealing with firearm parts pass? Well, I'm assuming, I think it's a safe assumption that unless it were amended and whatever, and there were no exemption, that wouldn't apply to you either. So those are some very practical things. Now, in a more ethereal, I don't want to say ethereal, in a more civil rights manner, what this means is that the Attorney General has basically been told by the California courts, once again, you don't get to just make stuff up. You don't get to just make stuff up. You have to follow the law. There's a process by which you make new regulations. You have to follow that process. And you don't get to just change your interpretation of the law with absolutely no basis. In particular, when the law is very clear as to what it says. You don't get to make it up, Mr. Xavier Becerra. We all know you like to make stuff up. We all know you like to blame, President Trump for making stuff up, but we know you do it too. So, you have to stop. Anyway, take a minute. You can read all the details in the link in the description of this video, but we just wanted to make sure to let you guys know this is what's happening. This is what's going on. This is all the stuff that we're doing. This is a big part of what we're doing. And once again, we realize in California here, we're kind of playing the long game. So we need you to play the long game with us. We need you to help us out. We need you to support us as we fight for your right to keep and bear arms, because this is a fight for our civil rights. We got to use them or we're going to lose them. You guys take care.
If you like our videos, follow, subscribe, like, and share.